I have a problem. I've been running the Donkey Kong Randomizer for about a year now, and I'm mid. I know, it's a fate worse than death just to be average at something you love, but I can't help from placing in the middle of the pack when it comes to the weekly races or even the big Season 3 tournament. So, I decided that it's time to get better at this game. But how? I need some kind of deterrent. Some way to make it undesirable to be mid. Something that pushes me forward with the fear of losing just around the corner. Maybe also something that combines another interest of mine? That's why I've started the You Lose, You Drink Challenge. I'm going to run a random seed of the Donkey Kong 64 Randomizer, and if I can't finish in under 2 hours, I have to take a gross punishment shot. All the while, I'll be hampering my ability to play the game by taking shots every 30 minutes. Can I rise above being the most mid speedrunner this randomizer community has ever seen? Let's find out.
Good luck.
So first, we gotta ask, what is Donkey Kong 64 Randomizer? Well, to put it simply, the DK Randomizer devs have managed to take the original game and take the location of every banana, Kong, move, boss key, etc., and shuffle them around along with some great quality of life changes like the Tag Anywhere feature. In a randomizer run, our goal is to gather all 8 boss keys so that we can challenge and defeat King K. Rool. To do this, we need to gather keys 1 through 7 to open the path to Hideaway Helm, collect 64 bananas, shut off 2 of 5 sections of the Blastomatic machine, and defeat 3 of King K. Rool's 5 phases, along with gathering all the moves required to do all these steps. We're not completely left by ourselves though, because there is a hint system that unlocks hints for items that you need to finish the run as you collect golden bananas. If you're interested in doing a run for yourselves, then pop on over to DK64Randomizer.com, where they can provide you with all the resources needed to get your own run started. Also, quick editor's note here, if you want to see these runs in person, come by to the Twitch channel and drop a follow. It'll mean a lot. I'm live whenever, here and there, but I'm pretty consistently live Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. With that out of the way, it's time to start the run. The first thing we do is go around and check some overworld easy checks to get started, with one notable exception. We find vine swingings early, so that gives us one more check inside of the training grounds area, so we go there immediately. The vines check really doesn't net us anything, but we did find saxophone, and there's that potion on Cranky's shop that we'll need to come back for. From here, we jump straight into our first level, Angry Aztec. Normally this is level 2, but it looks like the randomizer is doing its job today. The first thing that we really find in here is in this area where we see a lonely potion trapped in a cage, like an animal, mocking us from within the cage. Like, it's trying to say that we're the ones that are really caged, because society is a prison of our own making. We know that we need 2 moves to get that potion, barrel throwing and Hunky Chunky, neither of which we have, nor do we have Chunky Kong in order to use Hunky Chunky, so we just gather the coins and move on. Next, we move on to the Gong Tower, where we not only collect colored bananas to try to get Diddy's Banana Medal, but we also hit the 4 gongs in order to unveil a check. So let's pause here and talk about 2 things. First, banana medals. We get these in the randomizer when we collect 45 colored bananas for each Kong, which is far nicer than the 75 in the base game. And you guessed it, these medals have also been randomized into the main item pool. Secondly, I want to talk about what I'm going to do here. So, the neat thing about the randomizer is that even though some checks might technically require certain moves, we can sometimes skip these requirements with clever movement and the use of the Tag Anywhere mechanics. In this case, the Gong Tower check at the top requires us to have Rocket Barrel boost, but since we jumped on top of the tower with the momentum from Chimpy Charge, we skipped needing this move requirement to get this blueprint. Which, I mean, isn't a whole lot, but imagine if that was an important move. From here, we dip into Snide's hut in order to figure out what 2 instruments we need to use to stop the Blastomatic, and we find that the saxophone from earlier that we found was actually important for completing the game, along with Lanky's instrument, the trombone. From here, we finish out our last few checks that we want to do, grab our 5th golden banana, and leave Aztec while checking our first few batches of hints. Now, the hints can tell you various information like where the particular check is, Way of the Horde, which means you need that item to finish. It can label a whole area as foolish, which means that there's nothing there that is needed to complete the game, and it can mention that an area has something that leads to or is something important. For example, that saxophone we picked up was labeled as Way of the Horde, which makes sense given that we know. This patch also has another interesting hint. You'll never be free from my influence. You spend all your life chasing after a dream, only just to fall short of greatness. We move on and jump into our second level, Jungle Japes. We start off with business as usual, as we speed through the checks we know we can get. We do find a potion that we may need to come back for once we get Tiny Kong, but nothing else of note for now. We find a couple more bananas before we get into our next exploit. See, normally we need the orang stand move. However, this slope on this hill is so slight that we can cycle
Punching and jumping,
on the right side of the slope to slowly climb our way up,
and that's the bottom line.
allowing us access to several more checks, including a potentially helpful slam upgrade. We find diving hiding in this splat here. Diving is super important because it not only lets us access any underwater portions of levels, but crucially lets us access level 4 once we find key 2. We then find our first Kong, Chunky. Cranky has a tasty rocket barrel boost potion and a shot for Chunky, which will open up a lot of different checks for Diddy once we get the chance to use it. We finish off what we can in the Hive Channel area, then as we still don't have key 2, we have to go back to the only other available level. Oh, coming back to me? The farther you run from fate, the faster it all leads back to me. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Nothing too much of note here. We check our hints again and see the location of what I assume is key 2 on top of the Llama Temple. We also see an interesting hint for Jape's shops, which is probably that potion we left behind for Tiny and Cranky's shop. And, as is predicted, we find key 2. As we hop into our third level, Crystal Caves, we immediately find ourselves key 4, and a minigame barrel with a prize. Stash Snatch is pretty straightforward. We just have to run around and collect the required coins, then make it to the goal within the time frame. Doing this rewards us with Strong Kong, which unfortunately is really only useful in a couple places. However, we do grab the Kong that can use the move in Candy's shop, the leader of the bunch himself. Now, DK is important for a few reasons here. 1. He has the fastest movement out of any Kong, so the sooner we get him, the better. 2. We had a hint earlier saying that his medal is Way of the Horde. We definitely do not have what we need to get his medal here, so we will have to come back here at some point. We do a little more exploring and find our last Kong, Tiny Kong, in Cranky's shop, where I realize it's time for our first shot. Anyways, first shot time. Be right back. This is a key lime pie cream, rum cream, down the hatch. Now, before we drink, it's probably a good time to clarify that I'm only doing this challenge because I know and understand my limits when it comes to alcohol consumption. So please, when you do this challenge, drink responsibly. Or like in general, when you drink responsibly. Gotta keep that liver healthy, man. I don't want him dying on me. We got a working relationship going. We move on to grab that Way of the Horde guitar that Splat had his grubby little mitts on, and we move on to level 4. Or we would, but I somehow managed to be one banana short of getting in. So we go back to the training grounds where we picked up Ponytail Twirl, as well as our last banana that we need to get into Creepy Castle. But we don't go there yet, because we had tried to get the tiny potion in Jade, so we don't have enough coins to even do that. So we waste more time before we dip into Castle. Ugh. Well, the time wasting doesn't end there, because the literal first thing that happens is that Diddy decides to jump straight into the void. So, after that, we start checking the castle surroundings and get our key 5, after beating a short minigame. Next, we head over to Diddy's ballroom to play a little Diddy, which lets us get the Baboon Blast potion, which is needed for DK's fight against K-Rool. Eventually, we made our way down the castle where we found Gorilla Gon at the literal bottom of the level. Quick pause here to talk about this move. With every randomizer seed, we will always need 3 items to access Hideaway Helm, the final level of the game. Monkey Port gets us to the top of K-Rool's ship, and Gorilla Gone reveals the vines that we need vine swinging for to make it to the other side of the lava. With that in mind, we finish out the rest of the checks that we need to do in Castle and move on to finally get Mini Monkey from Cranky Kong and enter Frantic Factory. Oh, would you look at that? Another shot! We start running through Factory by going to the testing area to follow up on this Key 7 hint we received earlier. Using the Tag Anywhere mechanic, we're able to cheat up the block tower and find another key for a minigame that we fail, and then beat in order to get Key 7, which means we're only one key away from having all the keys needed to unlock Helm. We go down to the number game next and start this check, which we can only do because of that little slam upgrade that we got all the way back in Jungle Japes. In the randomizer, levels 1 through 4 require the green slam, levels 5 through 6 require the blue slam, and level 7 requires the red slam in order to activate these switches. Nothing too much else of note here. We collect a ton of bananas and we also find Primary Punch on Diddy's medal, which we can use to get more bananas. Up to level 6. LMAO. We go back to Factory, climb the production pipe, and get Feather Bow, which is actually the other move that we need to beat Tiny's K-Rool fight. Now on to level 6, but not before realizing that we actually have everything we need to fight K-Rool, as Diddy Kong is our last K-Rool phase, and we already have both the moves we need for that. We beeline to level 7, realize that we don't have enough bananas for either level 7 or level 6, turn some blueprints in for bananas so that we can enter level 7, and do some cleanups for a Jace potion that we couldn't get, and the DK medal and caves that we couldn't get earlier. DK kick again, man. I got the DK kick, I wanted to play more randomizer. Don't look at me. don't fucking look at me. Don't fucking look at me. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen on that one. That gets us Monkey Port, which is the last move that we need in order to access Helm. Now we can finally enter level 7, Fungi Forest. We make a mad dash for the Forest Mills section to find Key 6, and we do find it in the Dark Diddy Rafters area. So that's it, right? We can finish all of the K-Rool phases, we got all the keys, we can access Helm, but it feels as if we're forgetting something. Ah, temptation comes once again. Do you envy my freedom? A prize so close yet so far. Keep struggling, child, and you may earn freedom within my cage. Okay, here's the situation. We need Trombone, we know it's in Aztec Tunnels, and we know that Potion is still there taunting us. We need both Hunky Chunky and Barrel Throwing in order to get that potion, and that is where this run starts to spiral. Nothing in Forest, nothing in Factory, we go back to Aztec! And Barrels has to be within the first 2 levels. So we're gonna try to be as thorough as possible here, and try to get like medals. We take a shot! There's a Chunky Potion in Llama Temple, but it's not what we need. Go back to Japes, we go back to Caves, still nothing, and time is running out. We go back to Aztec and desperately hit a switch to open the tunnel outside. It's a long shot, but maybe, just maybe, Hunky or Barrels is in there. Oh, is that a potion? Maybe our luck has finally turned around. It's Trombone. Huh. Oh! Ho, 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 ho. Am I not what you desired? My cage was never meant to keep you away from me. Its true purpose was to protect you from the cruel reality of wasting all your precious time. That's just how it is on this bitch of an earth. So, funny thing about that Aztec's Tunnels hint. The Aztec Tunnels area covers the entry tunnel area, the tunnel between the Oasis and the totem area where our friend was, and this one section of tunnel that can only be accessed via the Llama Temple, which I could have checked about 20 minutes ago. Pretty devastating stuff, but I think I took it pretty well. Fuck, it is! Fuck! I could have done that so long ago! Fuck me, I'm just an idiot! Okay, we're in trouble. We don't have a lot of time to finish, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I just gotta get into Helm, shut off both the Blastomatic phases. Wait, what? Oh wait, what am I doing? It's not Diddy. What the fuck? What am I doing? I'm wasting time. Jesus, okay. Besides that choke, we're back on track. Surely they didn't waste that much time. Finished up the Blastomatic, and oh my god, we only have 5 minutes left. Rush through, grab key 8, and jump into K Rool. Okay, there's a chance, a very small chance that we finish on time, and I don't have to take that gross shot. God, look how close we are. That's so sad. That's so sad. Oh my god. The last thing you'll ever hear from me with a stupid fucking shot that I have to take from my own stupidity. Because I always choke one check. Stupid of the game. And that's fine. Yeah, 40 seconds. Off by 40 seconds. Ugh. From not checking the one thing. Sushi nap check. Yeah, exactly. That's the sushi nap lore. I choke one check. I'm fast as fuck for the rest of the scene. Choke one check. And it's over. So, I missed it by 40 seconds. That one barrel put into my mind a fake goal that I was working towards when the real check was available all along. As far as that shot went, well... Okay. Like I said, this is half gin, half candy cane vodka. Alright. Cheers. Oh. Oh. That is strong, and mint does not pair well with gin. That is a confusing flavor in my mouth, and it won't go away. And that's it. Joking aside, I think that run went fairly well. I love challenging myself to difficult tasks like this because the grind for self-improvement has always been fun to me. I think that's what drove me to speedrunning in the first place. Anyways, if you liked this video, I'd appreciate a subscription because we're just starting to grow this channel. If you couldn't tell, this is literally my first video ever. So let me know what you thought about it in the comments, constructively. Also, if you're interested in seeing these live, please drop by the Twitch channel. I try to stream consistently on Wednesdays at 7 PM Central Standard Time, with some other days scattered throughout. Would love to see you there. Until the next challenge run.